Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. Mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. It's Monday, so it's a poetry day. This is one by Hafiz, the Persian Shakespeare. It's called We Are Like Lutes. We are like lutes, once held by God. Being away from his warm body fully explains this constant yearning. It's the cosmic homesickness, the beckoning from beyond calling us back home. All right, journal question for those of you who are writing stream of consciousness, right? Blurt it out, don't burnish the thought. Hope it'll elevate the conversation. Of course, I'm always open to hearing what you have to say, and I will reply. We can continue the conversation between us. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you undertake to accomplish in life? So many times thinking that we won't be able to do it, or we lose the enthusiasm, and so we back off the task at hand. But that's the basic question. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you accomplish in life? My teacher always liked to use the yogic mindset. First of all, our culture heaps guilt upon you if you take time to celebrate too much. You got to get back into the workforce and be productive. And my teacher would say, even if that's so, you got to be eager to resume and assume responsibility for practicing, or you never benefit. He teaches how to find balance, like many approaches to consciousness does. First, the idea is go as far as you can with dynamic extension. But at the same time, watch these two over and under ways of understanding this. Overstretching means loss of contact with the center through exhibitionism, and understretching is a kind of escapism. So only you can figure that out. As I've mentioned before, only you know both what feels good and when to stop. Now, almost all initiation paths have some kind of rite of investiture. It's as if someone else must see the flame in you. But then, of course, you have to discover it in yourself as well. I think only King Henry VIII was the only one who grabbed the crown from the Pope and put it on his own head. Right? Even Jesus went through the baptism and allowed John to help him. So even though you know you got it somehow, it becomes more real when someone else recognizes it and says, yeah, you got it. All right, as for our motivation techniques, remember TNT, DIN. Today, not tomorrow, do it now. Anything that can be done in under 5 minutes, do it right now. And find out how you progress every time you take a risk to do something and you get it done. Now, my male mentor, Robert Moore, has reminded me that all the information gathered from phenomenology, anthropology, psychology, we now know there are deep structures in the psyche. They're in the collective unconscious. Everybody has this. And these archetypal energies, archetype is nothing but a portrait of an instinct that is pictured from the inner mind to the surface mind. All these archetypes are found in religion, ritual, mythology. These are not just antiquarian interests, but are clues to how we function. And as you know, one of my ongoing grants is using the power of thought and speech in a positive way. And it's amazing how many people acclimate themselves to the allowance of well-being, to the disallowance of well-being. Why is it okay to feel good? Why is it okay to put out the good feeling? And so when negative thoughts come up, the affirmation masters remind you, put it in quarantine. Don't consider it. Don't pick at the scab again and again. Consider it in the light of truth. Just like you wouldn't expose your camera film, it would contaminate it. Or if you're doing an experiment, you want to isolate it so that no toxic material gets into it. So in the same way, you got to safeguard your mind if you want these positive demonstrations. Because anytime you think about any subject, you're treating it for good or ill. And if you do this, I'm going to tell you, you're going to find the right friends, the right interests, the kindred spirits that have the same ideas as you, value the same things as you. And this is no abstract, imaginary way of thinking. This is the most practical thing you can do. So accept the fact that the primal power is the birthright of all. That means you got it as well. And this energy, what I call spirit, stronger than electricity, more powerful than high explosive. It's the birthright of everybody. It's unlimited, inexhaustible. So all I can say is I hope you permit this power to take care of you. But you got free will, so it can't mess with your life unless you evoke its presence. Invoke its presence, and it will evoke a response from spirit. So I'm off for tomorrow. I'll see you in a couple of days. So take this with you. Remember, whatever you experience has a lot to do with your concept of things. You make your own world by the way you think. Make a beautiful world.